lots of football this weekend. Super exciting and great to have you with all of your sports commentary and expertise this season.
I appreciate it. We're looking forward to spending a lot of sports. But let's get back to the college game for just a moment and some big names and voices that, well, you're not going to hear them this season. LSU fans will miss two familiar voices for at least part of the season. Both Dan Bornay, the Tiger Stadium PA, and LSU sports radio color analyst Doug Monroe stepping back for health reasons this season. Former LSU and NFL running back Jacob Hester will take Monroe's place behind the microphone in the LSU Tiger radio network microphones. I sat down with Hester earlier to talk about the new job and how he feels about taking over for an icon. Full disclosure, a friend of mine and an old broadcast partner from an LSU TV show we did back in the day, Jacob Hester, the new color analyst for LSU football. If you don't hear Jacob on radio, you're not trying. The award-winning OTB here in Baton Rouge and on many affiliates throughout the state of Louisiana. And you can find him on Sirius XM Radio and now the color analyst on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Jacob, thanks for coming in. It's great to see you.
Absolutely. Good to see you. We had some good times together covering LSU, a little bit of Saints, and so it's fun to be back with you.
And I know this is your season with football season. Let's talk about getting the job. And I know this is never the way you'd want to get it. So let me just start by asking you, how is Doug? Have you talked to him? Of course, Doug Monroe, almost 50 years doing this as an analyst, stepping back, which is why Jacob has the opportunity. Have you had a chance to talk to him, and how is he doing?
Yeah, I have, and he's in good spirits, and I've had a chance to kind of text back and forth with him, and an absolute legend. You do anything for 50 years, I mean, you're doing it right. Otherwise, they try to replace you, but Doug was literally one of the best in sports, in college football, and so just like you said, this is not the way that I wanted to get the job. You know, I'd done it before, but not consistently like this. So not the way I wanted to get it done, but Doug has been highly supportive throughout the entire process.
That's great. And from all of us, we hope, Doug, we hope you get better from the surgery, and we hope that you are feeling much better. And we know you'll enjoy listening to Jacob like everybody else. When you did get the call, what did it mean to know that you're coming back home? You LSU fans know you are a player there, a national champion there. Now to call the action back at the school where you started your college career and played your college career, what does that mean? Yeah,
when I started, sports broadcasting like 10 years ago, when I got into sports media, it was a dream job of mine to maybe one day have the opportunity to do this. And so growing up in Shreveport, like, we didn't come down to Tiger Stadium. We didn't have a lot of extra money to come down to Tiger Stadium. And every game wasn't on TV like it is now. And so the Hesters, we were an LSU household, but how we took in the game was listening to Jim and Doug on the call. And we'd rally around the radio. And so if you would have told me when I was 9, 10 years old that, hey, one day you listening to Jim and Doug, you'll be Doug. You'll have that seat and that spot in the press box. I said, there's no way. I was the shyest kid in the world. I wouldn't talk to anybody that didn't have the last name Hester. But for me to have that opportunity, because that's the LSU football that I grew up on. That's the LSU football I fell in love with, was listening to Jim and Doug on the radio. And so for me, just a surreal moment to get the call. Even filling in one time in the Rose Bowl against UCLA a couple of years ago, just as a fill-in, that to me was the ultimate honor. So to get the call to be the full-time guy this year, it truly meant a lot to me.
Does it change the way you look at the game? Obviously, for folks, if you don't know, Jacob had a career in the NFL as well, so I know you know the game. And it's one thing to watch it on TV and see it differently than everybody else. But calling the game, does it change now the way you see the game? Because you're the instant analyst. You're telling everybody on the spot what happened.
I do like it because it is so fast. It is fast-paced. And also, like, you have to tell them what happens in the moment, but also you have a partner in the booth, as you well know. I mean, the play-by-play, like, he's got to set up the play. So you're in, you're out, and there's no time to think about what you might have seen on the play before. So it's instant, and it's like, hey, what did your eyes tell you? Yeah. You have to trust your eyes. And as you know this better than anybody, the prep work that you do beforehand, it allows you to go with that fast pace. And so I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good. I felt like the game was about 10 minutes long in Las Vegas, even though, as we all know, it's 3.5 hours.
Well, I don't want to let you go before we talk about that. You do have one under your belt this year. A very well-played game for week one. Not the results Tiger fans wanted. Now you're getting set for the home opener. What did you see, and what was your takeaway from the game in Vegas in the loss to USC?
Yeah, I thought it was a very clean game. It really was. I mean, outside Garrett Nussmeier's trying to make a play at the very end, he has an interception, but it was a clean game. There were not a lot of turnovers or anything like that. There were some penalties that kind of racked up against LSU, but there was a lot of good in the film. You credit USC. They went and made the plays. The USC receivers, they were the game-changing thing for me that led them to victory, and it wasn't like it was a year ago. You watched that tape against Florida State a year ago, there was a lot of bad on that tape. Yeah. There wasn't that. Now, you want to go win the game, you're LSU, but I think you can coach off this tape. This is not a team that's just going to go away. I think they'll be in it for the long haul. They're going to beat some really good teams in the SEC, and sooner or later, you got to find a way to win the opener.
Yep.
You open up, by the way, at Clemson next year, so it doesn't get any easier. And also, I've got to get a win in the booth. I am 0-2 right now. A loss against UCLA, a loss against USC. I lived in Southern California long enough. I paid enough taxes in California. They could have thrown me a victory. But so hopefully this is my home debut. Coming up, I'd like to get a victory here.
I know the home opener is always exciting. The kickoff is 6:30 Saturday night. The LSU Sports Radio Network is on the air about 90 minutes beforehand, and you can listen to Jacob and Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers, on the LSU Sports Network with LSU against Nicholls, 6:30 in Tiger Stadium Saturday night as Jacob goes for win number 1. Jacob, thanks for stopping by. It's great to see you, and good luck all year long. Hope you enjoy it.
I appreciate it. Anything for you, Vic.
Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate it.